Good morning, honorable colleagues. I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 30th January 2024. Announcement. Sergeant at Arms, adjust the seating arrangement here to accommodate our visitors who are coming. Put more seats there because they're already here to take your questions. If it means adjusting the front table, adjust it to accommodate more seats behind. Honorable colleagues, we have some announcement to make. Kindly listen attentively. The House has appointed chairman and deputy chairman of committees to fill up the gaps that is existing. The chairman committee on Niger Delta Ministry is Honorable Dibiago Eugene Okechukwu. The deputy chairman committee on foreign affairs now is Honorable Malam Buka Ghana. And the deputy chairman committee on Christian pilgrims affairs is Honorable Daliyop Cholom. And the deputy chairman committee on Lake Chad is now Honorable Peter Aniekwe. If you have more questions with this, those people who have been mentioned should see the clerk. This announcement is coming from Right Honorable Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka, conferment of doctorate degree, honoris causa. With glad tidings from my family and I wish to inform the leadership and my dearest honorable colleagues that the Kingdom Life University, Florida, United States of America, on Saturday, February 3rd, 2024, conferred on me one of the most prestigious awards of the century, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Management and Humanities, honoris causa. By this development, I wish to be addressed as Right Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka. Dr. Isiaka, are you in the house? Congratulations. So from now on, he is now Dr. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka. Congrats. This one is coming from Honorable Barrister Ikawonu Onyinye Ugochinyere Ikenga Imo. Notification of the death of His Royal Majesty Ezo Edmond Alisiobi Dim, the Obi of Oboduku Asian Kingdom and paramount ruler of Oboduku Clan, Idato North, local government area of Imo State. I write to notify you of the death of His Royal Majesty Eze Edmond Dim Abakuribe Mbachu II, the Obi of Oboduku Asian Kingdom and paramount ruler of Oboduku Clan, which sad event occurred on Saturday, 28 January 2024. At the age of 82, His Royal Majesty Eze Dim was born on the 12th day of December 1941 to the royal family of Eze Nanyerugo Jeremiah Dim in the present-day Oboduku community of Idato North local government area of Imo State, which I am privileged to represent in this hallowed chamber. Until his death, His Royal Highness was the 10th Obi of Oboduku Kingdom. He was educated at St. Peter's School, Akokwa, where he obtained his first school living certificate, Standard 6 certificate, when primary school education was highly rated, before the outbreak of the Civil War in the 1960s. He worked briefly with Arume Company Limited in Onitsha and was a major distributor of Nigerian and overseas tobacco products. He later joined the Daily Times newspaper company before he moved to Bolingo Hotels Limited, where he worked for some years. He ascended the throne of his fathers in the year 1990. He will be buried on a date to be announced later. In line with the Obodoku traditional rites, I crave the indulgence of the House to observe a minute's silence in his honor, as our custom is. Thank you. Right Honorable Ikawonu Onyinye Ugochinyere. May we rise for 1 minute silence, please. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. This is coming from Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker of the 8th Assembly, June 2015 to June 2019. Funeral notification of Mama Saratu Yakubu Tuko. It is with gratitude and total submission to the will of the Almighty God that I, on behalf of the Yakubu Ganawuri Toko family and the good people of Waranga community of Bogoro, LGA in Bauchi State, write to notify you of the transition to glory of my beloved mother, Mama Saratu Yakubu Toko, at the age of 103 years. The burial arrangements are as follows. Saturday, 24th February 2024, lying in state at Guaranga Family Compound, 8:30 to 9:30. Funeral service at Guaranga Conchin Church, 10 a.m. Interment follows immediately after funeral service at the family grave site. It is on this premise that we most respectfully invite you to join us bid Mama a befitting farewell. You may wish to forward all condolences letters and tributes through any of the underlisted channels. May her gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. This is coming from Right Honorable Adewumi Ariyomi Ononuga. Notice of the death of Pa Jimmy Solanke, 1942 to 2024. With a very heavy heart, I write on behalf of the people of Ikene, Sagamu, Ramo North, in general, and Ipara Remo, in particular, to announce the passing on to glory of Pa Jimmy Solanke, a veteran, playwright, minstrel, composer, and consummate actor, which sad event occurred yesterday, the 5th of February, 2024. Pa Solanke, who was fondly called Bababa, was a part of the childhood of so many in the 60s and 70s, and even writes until the millennium through his inexplicable poetry, entertaining drama, and insatiable storytelling of building and inculcating true morals in the young ones. What about his soulful music that touched deep into the hearts to bring out the warmth of the African spirit innate in most, especially the Yoruba race? The annals of history will forever remember Pa Solanke's unwavering dedication and invaluable contribution to the arts, more so his impact on the global stage. Bababa will be sorely missed by all of us whom he touched with the extraordinary artistic gift. May I humbly ask that this honorable house rise to honor this rainbow of talent with a minute's silence and prayers for the repose of his soul. May we rise for 1 minute silence, please. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, permit me to request a minute's silence in honor of a former member of this hallowed chamber and a valued political leader in the constituency of Anambra State and Southeast, a patriot and a man of peace, Right Honorable Anna Ayonebe, who succumbed to the cold hands of death on the 24th of January, 2024. He represented Awka North, Awka South Federal Constituency in the 8th Assembly on the platform of ABGA. He was Speaker of Anambra State House of Assembly before advancing to the National Assembly. He was also a senior special assistant on the political matters to the immediate past Speaker of the Honorable House, His Excellency Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. Right Honorable Nebe, until his death, was special advisor to the Anambra State Government.
Order, please. Order.
On legislative and state assembly matters. Announcer, Honorable Professor Obegeli Lilian Orebu, member representing Awka North, Awka South Federal Constituency. So many 1 minute silence today. We're just discovering. Shall we rise for 1 minute silence for this? His gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Honorable colleagues, any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. But because of the special day we have today, we are going to take only 2 petitions. Yes, let's have you, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Ibe Okwara Osonwa,
and I represent the very prosperous people of Aruchuku-Ohafia Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here authored by the concerned citizens of Ohafia, Abreba, and Nkporo communities in Ohafia local government.
I know we have not seen each other for a long time. Please let us be heard in silence. I'm also happy to see you again, just like you're happy to see your brother beside you. But let's allow our brother to be heard. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I have a petition here authored by the concerned citizens of Ohafia, Nkporo, and Abreba local government and communities of Ohafia local government. This petition is to bring and ask Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EETC, to answer questions why power supply has not been provided to community for 5 years, and yet exorbitant bills have been presented to the community. That is the sole prayer of this petition, Mr. Speaker. I seek your leave to lay this petition on the floor.
Yeah, you may go ahead to lay a petition. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru. I represent the good people of Orion-Uhode Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from the Benin National Congress. This is a case of unjust, callous victimization and discrimination of workers of Edo State extraction in the Federal Ministry of Works. Mr. Speaker, this petition was ably signed by Mr. Ayameku Edokpolo, who is the president, and the prayers. One is a complaint to be investigated by the House of Representatives. Two, that mastermind of this ignoble violation of public service laws and rules should be brought in accordance with the law. And lastly, that the victims that will conditionally be reabsorbed into the service with full restoration of their salaries, benefits, emoluments, promotion without further delay. With the leave of Mr. Speaker and the House, I'd like to table these on the table. Put this on top the tables.
You may proceed to lay a petition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's just do the last one. All those are petitions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's have the member from Lagos.
The distinguished Speaker, esteemed colleagues, my name is Barrister Jesse Okejo Onwakalos. I represent Nigerians, especially the heartbeat of Lagos, Oshodi Solo. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues.
Control room, raise the volume a little bit, so that we can hear.
Distinguished colleagues, I have two petitions here. I will just go straight to the point. One is for against promotion of professors working at Nigerian Institute of Pharmaceutical Research Development. Second one is petition against some fund. Mr. Speaker,
please.
The prayers are on the face of this petition. I hereby seek the leave of this honorable house to lay the petition before this house. Thank you.
You may proceed to lay a petition, please. Yes. Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Attorney Matthew Nwogu. I represent the good people of Abombise, Ngopala Federal Constituency. I am from the heartland of the Eastern Heartland, Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition against Enugu Electricity Distribution Company. This petition was written and authored by MC Chambers and Associates. It is against the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, Transmission Company of Nigeria, and Honorable Minister of Power, and over abandonment of Abombise and Ngopala communities, and extortion and total neglect of the district in the supply of electricity. The reliefs sought by the people are listed in the petition. I seek the leave of the Speaker to lay this petition.
You may now lay your petition, please. Honorable colleagues, any member who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House, may please rise to do so. And I want to find out if Honorable Isiaka is in the House. Yes, please, go ahead. Honorable Isiaka, this year motion, it looks like it's too long. Try and abridge it as much as possible, please.
Mr. Speaker.
Because it's a special day and they're already waiting.
Count on me on that, Mr. Speaker, as much as possible. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I am Right Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka. I speak for and on behalf of the very good and wonderful people of Ifo Ewekoro Federal Constituency. I'm from the fastest growing economic state in Nigeria. I'm from Ogun State, Mr. Speaker. I rise this morning, Mr. Speaker, standing on Order 8, Rule 4, especially Section 2, and relying heavily on Roman figure 1, Roman figure 2.
Dr. Isiaka,
Mr. Speaker,
I know we are all used to Order 8, Rule 4. But if you check our new House rules, you'll find out that there is an amendment to that. So it is now Order 8, Rule 5. Order 8, Rule 5 is now taking care of what Order 8, Rule 4 used to take care of, so that we can cite the relevant rules when we are going under matters of urgent public importance. I know you didn't know, so update your knowledge of urgent public importance motion and the way it's moved. Thank you.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. At the same time, I want to use the opportunity to tell Mr. Speaker that it is now a matter of urgency to distribute to all members the new standing orders so that we can keep us abreast.
Clerk, ensure that every member has the new order. Those who have not gotten your order, raise your hand, please. Wow. Clerk. So sorry. Have you been to your offices? Because we send it to your offices. Okay. Let me apologize on behalf of the Secretariat, the clerk. They will distribute the ones they have here, and they will bring to your offices those who are not able to get from here.
Thank you very much, own speaking.
Please go ahead. Please don't make it rowdy, please.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful privilege, our own speaking speaker. Here, by the new order, standing on Order 8, Rule 5,
please. Order.
and appealing to Mr. Speaker and distinguished honorable members to allow me to take this motion of urgent national importance on the urgent need for government immediate intervention at reducing the cost of living presently as it prevails. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Any seconder to this? Yes, my brother. The motion came from here. We want to give these people a chance to second. Your mic is not working. If it's not working, Honorable Abedi, you might second it. Honorable Abedi, second. You are raising your hand to second.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Agbedi Yeitiemene Frederick is my name. I represent Sakbama Kilima Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the first leg of the motion that the rules be suspended. I so second.
Those in support that this motion is urgent enough, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg, who is seconding it? Yes, you've been raising your hand. Let's oblige you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mudashiru Lukman, representing the good people of Iwo Ayediri Federal Constituency. I rise this morning to second the second leg of the motion. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion that is urgent to be heard now, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Isia can make it as brief as possible.
Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. The House notes the cost of living, which has been a pressing issue for many citizens around the world, Nigeria not in isolation.
Please speak to the microphone. We need to hear you.
The House notes the cost of living, rising cost of living in Nigeria, which has been a pressing issue for many citizens around the world, Nigeria not in isolation. And the situation has only worsened in recent times. The impact it has on individuals and families and the urgent need for government intervention to bring down the cost of living as currently going on in Nigeria. Also aware that as at date, poultry meat is one of the most traded products in the world. The exporters of poultry meat are Brazil, United States of America, and other countries that export beef in the world are Japan, Republic of Belarus, Bovine, Republic of Nicaragua, Netherlands, Republic of Poland, Republic of Ireland, Canada, and Republic of Paraguay. Despite its current export restrictions, India remains the world's largest rice exporting country, with other major rice exporters that include Thailand, Vietnam, Pakistan, Burma, and Cambodia. Convinced that the various radical policies and approaches of the current federal government are not only necessary, but compulsory to propel the nation into the new era of robust economy, improved standard of living, and emergence of Nigeria as the economic destination of the world. But the caveat, the gestation period for this policy of the government is rather coming with some hardship. Truly, institutions of a tribal mark is associated with pains, and only when it heals that the beauty radiates. It's nice and good for people to want to eat a well-dried dog. But before the dog dies, what are people going to eat? Therefore, it It's obvious that even the fowl that's perching on the rope now is shaking, while the rope itself is shaking. Both the government that is trying all its efforts to put economy back on foot are worried, and the citizens too are currently worried. The House is further worried that alongside human toll, the financial costs are also escalating on energy. And hurting the growth of the economy. The crisis is potentially fueling instability, as witnessed in some parts of the country yesterday, specifically in Minna, Niger State. Strong and swift policy action is needed to mitigate the food crisis, cost of standard living, and human suffering. The House equally appealed and noted with disdain the arbitrariness in how cost marketers are putting costs. There is no way to explain, and with no economic indices or reasoning, that a bag of cement that cost only 5,400 just last week is approaching 7,000 naira today. Meanwhile, all the raw materials for production of cement are available in this country. What economic justification? Rather than that, people are latching at the foreign exchange to inflict pains, hardship on fellow citizens without any recourse or any collaboration and any justification for the rising in the foreign exchange. In the light of the foregoing, the House, and the House of the people of Nigeria, herefrom resolves appeal, 1, to the federal government and all critical stakeholders, 2, immediately open up the National Food Reserve and complement by exploring the importation of grains, poultry products, meats, beverages, healthcare and pharmaceutical products from the top exporting countries in the world as a short-term measure while the government is fixing other areas of the economy. Number 2, the House urged the federal government to increase food production and improve distribution, including through ensuring adequate access to fertilizers and diversification. The House is urging the federal government to increase trade financing and reinforcing supply chains as a vital tool to addressing the current cost of living prices and the shocks currently being experienced. The House is urging the federal government to equally embark upon high-impact measures, such as investing in new crop varieties, improving water management, and information dissemination across to the citizens from time to time to keep them abreast of the happenings in the polity. The House further appealed, a very special one in this instance, to the manufacturers, producers, the middlemen, the sellers of goods and services, and all other relevant stakeholders to temper justice with mercy and to be very realistic in the aggressive manners at which they are increasing astronomical prices on goods and services, taking advantage of the situation at hand, especially items that are not dependent and goods that are not dependent on foreign exchange. There is no correlation at all for putting dollars atop how our marketers should sell products that are produced and manufactured locally. The House further urges the leadership of the House of Representatives to begin in earnest the planned summit with the theme on security and economic development. Mr. Speaker, I so abridged and I so submit. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and distinguished honorable members.
Thank you very much. Really abridged. It was really, really abridged. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, sir.
Right Honorable Speaker, my dear respected colleagues, my name is Salisu Yusuf Majigiri. I represent Mashidusi Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second this very important motion that affects the country. It's very important, extremely important, more especially something to do with livelihood and the security of the country. I do second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Before I put the question, Jaha, you have something to say?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm a Jaha Babao, Chibok Dambo, Goza Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, permit me to start commending the mover of the motion. Mr. Speaker, there is always pain and discomfort in saying the truth when and wherever the need arises. In other words, the truth that sets men free is mostly the truth that men prefer not to hear. Sir, if we are comfortable in our comfort zone, we should understand that substantial part of our constituency are sitting on a time bomb. Sir, I want you to go to the creek. I want you to go to far north, and I want you to go to far southwest. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that people are not happy. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that people are hungry. Mr. Speaker, there must be drastic measures to bring back our country, Nigeria.
Honorable Faleke, please. Appreciate you.
From 2020 and 2022 to date, cost of staple foods and other relevant ingredients increased and escalated by almost 100%. Sorry, 500%. Sir, we have issue in Nigeria for capital inflows to our economy, particularly diaspora remittances, investment by investors from abroad and within the country, and other issues that can bring...
Honorable Jaha,
Sir,
I've been waiting for members to raise an objection to this conversation because we have not ruled on the question before this coming. So, and everybody forgot themselves because it's about national economy, and the issue you're discussing is very trite.
Sir,
But it said,
except if we have changed our procedure.
Yeah.
Our procedure is whenever a motion has been presented and seconded accordingly, before the chair rule on either that particular motion should be admitted or not, members will be allowed to air their views so that at the end of the day, the nays or ayes can determine the outcome of that particular motion. Am I right?
Good.
So what I'm trying to do is contribution to the motion. And members have equally contribution to make as far as the motion is concerned.
Excuse me, excuse me. It's a learning process, especially for new members who are here. That is why I allowed you. Former leader of the House, Honorable Adodogo, I have something to say.
No, Mr. Speaker, I only wanted to say that we allowed him spoke because you recognized him. And it's not always good to now interject when the presiding officer has protected someone to speak. But we knew up initial that the procedure has been breached.
It is important that...
How is it being...
It is important that you learn this, especially for the new members. Okay? We'll spend 1 minute on this. Chairman, Rules and Business.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogane Waive is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State, and by the leave of Speaker, Chairman, Rules and Business. On the issue we have on ground, Mr. Speaker had recognized the Honorable Jaha, and we thought Mr. Speaker can have his way. Otherwise, the procedure we have followed all along was such that even to lead a debate, the mover of the motion will be the one to lead the debate before others can follow. But Mr. Speaker has the privilege to run the House. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
In a motion of urgent public importance, he has been called to lead his debate. Are you saying that he did not lead his debate?
He presented the debate, Mr. Speaker.
He has read his debate.
Yes, yes, Mr.
And did not lead his debate. Honorable Isiaka, have you led your debate?
I've read my debate, Mr. Speaker.
Did you lead it?
I read it. If you still want me to lead 1 minute.
Did you lead your debate?
Yes. I read my motion, Mr. Speaker.
Good.
So what is the difference between
Are you okay with the presentation of?
Yes. I'm okay, but if you permit me to throw it open, I will do.
Good. Yes. You wanted to say something, Honorable former leader.
Mr. Speaker, sorry to still bring it back. You have even forgotten to put to question whether the motion was urgent enough to be taken.
We have gone beyond that. We have gone beyond that.
So sincerely, he has to be allowed to lead the motion, then others follow.
Former leader,
he
sit
has
down.
a very good motion. Sir,
Good.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we are all passionate about the motion.
You can sit.
We also want to speak and contribute about it, but procedure has to be followed. That is just it.
Let me mention this. His motion was in order up to the point that he finished speaking. He went through all the motions and it was seconded. I'm sure the former leader did not hear when the first was seconded, second was seconded. So he was in order. The question was put the first time and the second time. The question was put and the people are allowed it to go on. At the moment we are now is whether in a motion of urgent public importance where he has presented, whether it should not be seconded before he leads his debate, before comment from the members. I am of the opinion, the chair is of the opinion, that after the seconding of that motion, he has the floor to say one or two things. And since the House did not raise any objection to that, it is a moment for the new members to learn that once a motion has been laid, reading it is not leading it. And once he has finished presenting his core presentation, the next is asking of the question for the House to support. Once we support it, he will be given opportunity to either stand up to say, I adopt my motion as read, or I have one or two more things to say. So I just wanted this to happen so that new members will embrace it. So I will now put the question. Those in support of the motion presented by Isiaka say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Isiaka, do you have one or two things to say in 1 minute?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for that great privilege, and it has equally opened our eyes to so many things. Mr. Speaker, I fully adopt the motion as read by me.
1 minute, please. Welcome. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I fully adopt the motion as read by me.
Thank you very much.
It's self-explanatory, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much for saving us the time. Any other comment? Jaha, round up in 1 minute.
So, sir, what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is there must be conducive environment created by government to encourage diaspora remittances and investment by investors from within and outside the country. And that is only possible if we have serious security measures on ground that can attract these investors to come and invest so that there will be improvement in our GDP. This is exactly what I'm trying to say in a nutshell in 1 minute. But if you allow me, I will talk for at least 30 minutes on the issue of this.
No.
That's the truth.
All right. Let us, Minority Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Kingsley Chinda. I represent Tobiabo Federal Constituency. I'm an Ikure man from River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this very, very important motion. And briefly in so doing, although we are aware, but I want to read section 14 of the Constitution for purposes of emphasis with your leave, sir. Section 14(2). Constitution, section 14.
Constitution, section 14.
Subsection 2. It is hereby accordingly declared, A, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. B, the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, with what we are facing in Nigeria today, truly can we say that the welfare of the people is being taken care of, which is the primary purpose of government. And I think that that is what our colleague has drawn our attention to. A lot needs to be done. As a government, we derive our sovereignty from the people, but the same people who gave us that sovereignty are impoverished, they are living in poverty, they are living in penury. The people are sad, the country is not happy. And the primary purpose of government, including all of us here sitting, is to bring joy and happiness to Nigerians. I'm sure that some of us find it even difficult going home because of the circumstances and the condition we find ourselves in Nigeria today. Yes, you might not be directly in charge of the situation, but you are part of the government. And the least we can do is to say the truth to power and struggle to see how we can assist the executive arm, the judicial arm, the security agencies to improve the situation in our country. It's a wake-up call to all of us as parliamentarians. The motion this morning is a wake-up call to all of us as parliamentarians, and we actually need to sit up. Else, when the Nigerian spring starts, we will be the first casualty. Let us not look at it from the angle that it is Mr. A or Mr. B. We all have a role to play.
Thank you.
And I will ask that we please take this motion very seriously and support it with the speed of light. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think this is what today we are going to have interaction, which is sectorial engagement with the relevant stakeholders. Let us not dwell more on this. Make your questions ready and you ask them. We're actually rushing. They'll be here since 10 o'clock so that we can have them in. Whatever you have to say it through your questions. We are going to recognize you. I'll just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second matter of urgent public importance is Honorable Shagaya here. Make it as brief as possible. It's the last one we are taking today.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya. I represent the good and industrious people of Ilorin West as a federal constituency of Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, by your leave, I wish to stand this down and take it on another day.
Any seconder? I didn't hear you. Oh, you stepped down. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Motion step down in the leave of the House. 。 Today is going to be as brief as possible. Please, if you have your questions, work with the leader of the House, and we'll take it up from there, because very soon we are moving into the real business of the day. The next business of the day is the admittance into the chamber. Honorable members, the first business of this day is a motion on admittance into the chamber. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, the Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and their entourage for the purpose of sectorial debates on the nation's economy. This is standing in the name of the House Leader. The House Leader is invited to move the motion. House Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, I am Professor Julius Humviri, ON DSSRS. I rise to move that the House, pursuant to Order 6, Rule 4110(9) and 2 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, do admit into the chamber the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, the Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and their entourage for the purpose of sectoral debates on the nation's economy. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Leader. Minority Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion that we admit strangers into the plenary of the House today. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please go and escort your visitors in. The second business of the day is presentation of reports of the Committee on Police Affairs on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Police, Trust Fund, the total sum of 57 billion 14 million 287,530 naira, 92 kobo, out of which the sum of 937 million 993,627 naira, 68 kobo only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 9 billion 51 million 490,363 naira 14 kobo only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 9 billion 989 million 483,990 naira 82 kobo only for the recurrent expenditure, and the sum of 47 billion 24 million 803,541 naira 18 kobo only for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2023, standing in the name of Honorable Maki Yeleman Abubakar. Honorable Abubakar is invited to present the report. Honorable Yeleman, if you're in the house, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Maki Yeleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamuru Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to present that the House do receive the report of the Committee of Police Affairs on the issue from the statutory revenue funds of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, the total sum of 57,287,531 naira 92 kobo, in which 937,993,627 naira 68 kobo is for personal expenditure. Mr. Speaker, my right honorable colleagues, 9,051,490,363
Honorable Yeleman must be heard in silence.
Only is for overhead expenditure, while the 9,989,483,990 naira 82 kobo only is for recurrent expenditure. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, 47,024,803,541 naira 18 kobo is for capital expenditure for the year ended 31st December 2023. With the leave of the House, I beg to lay the report accordingly, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. So submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Yeleman. Any seconder to this motion? Yes. Zachariah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Honorable Dauda Zakaria Nyampa, member representing the people of Madagali Michigan Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my chairman, Honorable Mankit and Lema. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Abubakar, you may now lay your reports. Honorable colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of the report of the Committee on Custom and Excise, the issue for the statutory revenue fund of the Nigerian Custom and Excise, the total sum of 764,434,216,877 naira 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225,993,659,688 naira 50 kobo only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 111,765,093,000 naira only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 368,675,464,189 naira 70 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st of December 2024. And this is standing in the name of Honorable Leke Joseph Abejide. Honorable Abejide, if you are in the house, you are invited to present the reports.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Leke Joseph Abejide is my name. I represent the good people of Yagba East, Yagba West, Mopamuru Federal Constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Customs and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of Nigeria Customs Service and Excise, the total sum of 706 billion 434 million 216,877 naira 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225 billion 993 million 659,688 naira 50 kobo only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 111 billion 765 million 993,000 only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 368 billion 675 million 464,189 naira 16 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ended 31st December 2024. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Abajide. Any seconder? This motion, preferably somebody from the Committee of the House on Custom. The deputy is here? Yes, let the deputy second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Hassan Sheikh Hussein. I represent the good people of Nasarawa Federal Constituency, Kano State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Abajide, you may now lay your report. Honorable colleagues, the 13th order of the day is commencement of the sectorial debate. Pursuant to Order 17, Rule 13 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, honorable members are to note the debate centered on nation's economy. I now invite the House Leader to move that the debate commences.
Mr. Speaker, I'm Professor Julius Ihonvere, OON, DSSRS. I rise to move that the sectoral debates on Nigeria's economy in the House of Representatives should commence immediately. I so move. Minority Leader. Thank you.
Minority Leader, can you second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Leader that will commence the sectorial debate. I so second.
Before I put the question, this is a very important time, and your constituents at home, they will be watching to see your participation in these all-important engagements.
Order, please. Order. The House is in order. The House is in session. Order, please.
I ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The opening remark by Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, at the sectorial debate with the finance sector stakeholders on Tuesday, 6th of February 2024. The leadership of the House, most distinguished colleagues, our invited guests, the media. Today marks another significant chapter in the life of the 10th Assembly, as we continue with the sectorial debate with the finance sector stakeholders. As outlined in our legislative agenda, the House is committed to engaging with all sectors towards identifying their needs and developing measures to address them. Therefore, these engagements are also an important aspect of our constitutional mandate to exercise our oversight function over the executive branch to ensure the order and good governance of our country. As we gather in this sectorial debate with the Central Bank Governor, the Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, and the Minister of Finance, it is imperative to recognize the urgency and importance of the agenda before us. We must all confront the stark reality of the economic, fiscal, and revenue challenges that our beloved nation, Nigeria, is currently facing. In a world of complexities and uncertainties, the path to fiscal integrity is not just a choice, but a necessity. It is the bedrock upon which the trust between the government and its people is built, and the foundation that supports the robust architecture of our nation or national economy. Fiscal integrity ensures transparency, accountability, and the prudent management of our nation's resources. It is our duty and responsibility to safeguard this, not just for the present generation, but for the future ones that will inherit the outcomes of our decisions today. Moreover, the essence of synergy cannot be overstated in our quest for economic stability and growth. The collaborative spirit that we foster within this hallowed chamber attests to the collective will and dedication of our House to steer our nation towards a brighter, more prosperous future. The interconnection between the Central Bank, the FIROS, the Ministry of Planning, and the Ministry of Finance embodies the holistic approach we must adopt to address the multifaceted challenges that confront us. Through synergy, we can align our strategies, consolidate our efforts, and amplify the impact of our initiatives. In the face of global economic shift and domestic challenges, it is clear that robust reform measures are not just beneficial but imperative. We are at a pivotal moment where the decisions we make and the policies we implement will impact the lives of millions of Nigerians. The reform we envisage should not only address the immediate needs, but also lay a foundation that is resilient with a dynamic framework that can adapt to future challenges and opportunities. These measures should stimulate growth. These measures should foster innovation. These measures should uplift the life of every Nigerian. As we engage in this sectorial debate, let us remember that the eyes of our nations are upon us, looking with hope and expectations for outcomes that will reinforce the pillars of our economy, safeguard our fiscal integrity, and ensure a prosperous and inclusive future for our nation, Nigeria. In the face of the numerous daunting challenges facing our constituents, including hunger and worsening inflation, the role of the Parliament is not just an oversight, but of active, visionary leadership. It is our responsibility to legislate, it is our responsibility to debate, and meticulously craft policies that will address these issue-based engagement head-on. We are called upon to be the architect of reform and the voice of our people. I thank our guests for your commitment and dedication to this noble, even if doubting task. I commend you. Let us proceed with the assurance that our collective effort, our collective insights, our collective wisdom will guide us towards realizing our shared vision for a stronger, more resilient nation we call Nigeria, that is the only country that we have. Each of our guests will be given 10 minutes to address the chamber, outlining the journey so far, their priorities and strategies for addressing the real and felt needs of our constituents, the Nigerians. The floor will subsequently be open for members to pose questions, which I will humbly moderate. I charge all of us to abide by our rules for decorum and conduct ourselves with the seriousness that this occasion requires of us. The world is watching to see how much we care and how much we go about what we care about. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. I will now invite our guests to make presentation, and we're going to start with the FIRS, and after that, we'll have the CBN. And after the CBN, we have the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and thereafter, we'll have the Minister of Finance. Because they are interwoven, we will expect that all the invited guests, just like the service chief did, stay till the end. But if there are related questions, we'll be able to address it. Once again, let me mention that this is not an investigative hearing. We are just to interact, to hear from you. And Nigerians want to also hear from you. Thank you very much. Over to you, FIRS.
Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir, leadership of the House, and honorable member, thank you for inviting us here today to share our thoughts in a collective manner, the way we think we can charter the new course for our economy. And I will start by clearly state the mandate of federal inland revenue in the midst of all this. Our mandate is to assess, to collect, and to account for all accruable revenue to
Order.
Federation of
Order, please.
Nigeria.
Order.
This is our mandate. We are not revenue generating agency. We are revenue collecting agency. And this is very clear because we are just a consequence collector of all the impact of economic policy, either from central bank or from the Federal Ministry of Finance. I will start from what has happened in the last 12 months, challenges we have, the plan we have to solve that challenges, and then I will open for the question and input from honorable members. For 2023, the target for the service was set at 10 trillion from the national budget and from the Ministry of Finance. Through the efforts of them all and all of us here, we'll achieve 12.3 trillion. And this is not in isolation. This comes about because of the bold decision taken by Mr. President by rectifying the distortion in our economic parameters, the removal of subsidy, and then the wonderful work also being led by Central Bank in the unification of the rate. This has serious impact in the last 7 months of our collection because the rate that we use and also the wastage, so to say, from subsidy payment we were able to curtail that. So we have overperformance from both the VAT collection and company income taxes because of most especially those that are dollar-based. We have challenges in collection from our oil production, from oil taxes, and this is in connection with the low production compared to what we planned for in the budget. All other type of taxes did well, most especially education tax, because we over that one by more than 290% that we used to do, that we overperform in education tax that we've collected. So this is the way we've done in the last 1 year, And as a result of that, we have the target for this year, based on the approved budget, to collect 19.2 trillion, which is 7.2 trillion more than what we actually collected this year. And given this economic condition and with the promise of Mr. President that we are not going to introduce additional tax, we are not going to increase any tax, considering the situation and welfare of our people, that what we need to do is to re-strategize within to make sure that we bring more people into tax net. So without increasing the tax rate, that will be able to meet the targets. And that is what has led to us restructuring the way we want to do it today in federal land revenue. Prior to this time, we used to have the group, being grouped in tax form, like VAT, you have stamp duty, you have all these segments by function. For us to be able to meet this target, with the approval of Honorable Minister of Finance, we structure, and then we move from that functional unit to customer-centric unit. And what would this do for us? One is that we want to develop our expertise in the way we address our customer. In this sense, our taxpayers. So we are grouping them today based on their turnover categorization. And you have large tax, you have medium, and you have small taxpayer. And what would this do for us? This will help us to serve them very well. So we've provided, as today, the one-stop shop for tax collection. And this will reduce the multiple investigation, multiple taxes that the taxpayer faces today. And then when they go to one tax office, they will be able to do all their taxes, from VAT, company income tax, stamp duty, and all forms of taxes. And this one will develop expertise within our team, because one of our vision and mission of Mr. President is that 80% of the work of federal land revenue must be done by the staff of the federal land revenue, because of the oath of confidentiality we have with the taxpayer. So this one will help us to concentrate on those that give us the best, because it's 80-20 Pareto that we are using. The less than 60 companies in Nigeria today contributed more than 67% to our tax collection in form of the capital company income tax that we collect. So we've developed the strategy to make sure that we focus on our customer, in this case, our taxpayer, so that we can garner all what is needed. And not only that, because we are not there only to collect taxes, because the relationship between the service and the taxpayer is that of symbiotic. We are providing the economic advice and service, taxpayer services to them, because the focus of Mr. President is not to tax the seed, not to tax the investment. We are not to tax the poverty. We are to focus on prosperity, we are to focus on the fruit, and we are to focus on the return on investment. And that is why coming together from CBN, Federal Land Revenue, planning, and other, because it is the result of their coordinated policies that result in prosperity, from which Federal Land Revenue will collect taxes. So for us, we also have the pillar in our services that we will develop our people, we develop technology, and we have process through which we will collect all what needs to be collected. The fair treatment is actually our guide word, because we are not to kill the tree that bear the fruit. We are to nurture, to fertilize the tree. And that is why the conducive economic environment, it is actually fundamental to achieving our tax collection. So having this sectoral conversation on the way to have a good economic environment, it is very important, and it is helpful for federal inland revenue. And what
Deputy Chief Whip, I hope you are timing him. Go ahead. You have a few minutes to finish.
So for us, as I've said earlier, we are consequential collector because we don't generate revenue, we collect revenue. So the product of this wonderful coordinated economic policy, it is what will help us in achieving our goal and meeting our targets. So we have the technology, we have the people, and we have the process. And like I said, the oil production plays significant role in revenue, in achieving our revenue target, focusing more on being able to provide good security. It will also help us. And also, through the help of Honorable Minister of Finance, we have put many measures in place, one of which is what Mr. President has also approved, that going forward and in implementing 2024 budget, the expenditure framework, income framework need to be synchronized. Mr. President has approved, and I know Honorable Minister has sent a circular to that effect, that going forward, all the payments, most especially from the ministry to all the contractor, will be done directly to contractor. And why is this important? 7.5% is the VAT rate, and then you have 5%, almost on more than 90% of the contracts that government execute. So if you take it into the number, we have the capital budget of above 9 trillion for this year. If we collect 7.5% and 5%, as case may be, 12.5% of that 9.7 trillion is going to roughly above 700 billion. That is taxes alone from government. Apart from being able to collect our tax effectively, it will also help our cash management, because we are not only to collect, but we need to account for all the way we spend all this money. So because of my time,
Kindly round up, and so, we have 1 more minute, sir.
Okay. So I will now open for the question and the input from my honorable members, our honorable members, and the leadership.
Thank you very much. We'll call you up again, so you will just make your presentation and sit down.
Thank you.
The question time will be the same time, so that if they are related, your colleagues might help you to address the ones that are joined. So thank you for your presentation. You may have your seat, and we'll call you back.
Thank you.
Yeah. The next guest to make his presentation is our very own governor of the central bank. Let's have our brother Cardoso make his presentation. Exactly 10 minutes, you should be done.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the leadership of the House of Representatives, honorable members of the House of Representatives, good morning and thank you, or good afternoon, and thank you very much for the honor of being here today. I am really and truly honored to appear before the House to address what obviously is very critical concerns relating to exchange rates and inflationary pressures on the economy. Upon receiving the invitation letter, I keenly sensed the urgency and the acknowledgement of the economic challenges and resistance to proposed solutions by various stakeholders. However, I want to emphasize that we are now at a turning point, and the bold reforms underway across different segments of the economy, though initially challenging, are aimed at addressing these challenges sustainably. And really, I would like to emphasize the word sustainably. I'm confident that positive outcomes are already emerging and will become more apparent in the near future. The dedicated and relentless efforts being made are certain to bring about significant and positive changes for our economy. On that note, distinguished members, I'm happy to inform you that as at yesterday, the volume of transactions on our market was over $800 million. This is the first time in many years that it has achieved this level. Notably, recent reports from international rating agencies such as Fitch, Moody's, Standard & Poor, and commendations from multilateral banks like World Bank reflect this positive trajectory with upgrades to Nigeria's rating from stable to positive. These reports acknowledge the potential reversal of the deterioration in the country's fiscal and external position due to the authorities' reform efforts. While recognizing the painful adjustments, these all point to a direction that will unlock much needed growth and development for our economy in the medium to long term. Honorable members, I acknowledge that despite these commendations, the concerns regarding the cost of living and currency rates remain. Indeed, this is the major topic of concern in our villages, our towns, and our cities. The urgency of the matter is not lost on us at the central bank, and I really want to assure you that we're working tirelessly with colleagues from across government, including with the leadership of this House, to bring lasting solutions. Given that this will be the first time I'll be before this esteemed body this year, 2024, please permit me to just very briefly provide you with what we consider our outlook for 2024. Global outlook. I will not bore you with too much of those details, given the time challenge, but I'll conclude in saying that globally, the landscape continues to be very challenging, and that key policy priorities involve ensuring durable inflation reduction, addressing fiscal pressures, and fostering sustainable and inclusive growth. The global monetary policy environment is expected to remain restrictive until sustained inflation reduction becomes evident. Obviously, that has huge repercussions for us in Nigeria. Governments around the world must grapple with rising fiscal pressures, necessitating credible medium-term fiscal frameworks to effectively manage debt burdens. On the domestic outlook, which I know is very important to all of us, we know and remember that the federal government of Nigeria anticipates a 3.76% real GDP in 2024, slightly surpassing the estimated 3.75% in 2023. This optimism is backed by key government reforms and the expectation of improved crude prices and production, which are set to drive economic growth. Inflationary pressures are expected to decline in 2024 due to the CBN's inflationary targeting policy, aiming to rein in inflation to 21.4%, aided by improved agricultural productivity and easing global supply chain pressures. The Nigerian foreign exchange market is currently facing increased demand pressures, causing a continuous decline in the value of the naira. Factors contributing to this situation include speculative forex demand, inadequate forex supply due to non-remittance of crude oil earnings to the CBN, increased capital outflows, and excess liquidity from the fiscal activities. The shift to a market-driven exchange rate was intended to create a stable macroeconomic environment and discourage currency hoarding. However, short-term volatilities attributed to arbitrage and speculation have been an issue. To address exchange rate volatility, a comprehensive strategy has been initiated to enhance liquidity in the forex markets, and I made reference to the outcome of that earlier. This includes unifying FX market segments, clearing outstanding FX obligations, introducing new operational mechanisms for BDCs, enforcing the net open position limits, and adjusting the remunerable standard deposit facility cap. Honorable members, we understand the economic costs of these developments, not just for the economy, but also as they affect ordinary Nigerians. However, as I mentioned in previous engagements, these costs are temporary, and our decisions will address a lot of fundamental issues bothering Nigeria's macroeconomic landscape. Honorable members, these measures aimed at ensuring a more market-oriented mechanism for exchange rate determination will boost foreign exchange inflows, stabilize the exchange rate, and minimize its pass-through to domestic inflation. On the exchange rate, permit me to say that, put simply, the exchange rate is determined by the dynamics of supply and demand for a product or service. In essence, similar to the pricing of cows or cars, the value of the US dollar in Nigeria is determined by the balance of US dollars entering the country and the demand for US dollars amongst Nigerians. Applying this demand and supply principle, let's examine how the exchange rate has performed in recent years. The exchange rate in Nigeria has increased or depreciated due to the simultaneous occurrence of two factors: a decline in the supply of US dollars coinciding with a surge in the demand for US dollars. Looking at the demand side of the exchange rate, it's important to note the growing number of Nigerian students studying abroad. In 1980s and 1990s, the need for US dollars for their living expenses was minimal. However, recent data shows a significant change. According to UNESCO's Institute of Statistics, the number of Nigerian students abroad increased from less than 15,000 in 1998 to over 71,000 in 2015. By 2018, the figure had reached 96,702 students as per the World Bank. Another report projects the number of Nigerian students studying abroad to exceed 100,000 by 2022. Additionally, the UK's Higher Education Statistics Agency noted a 64% increase in Nigerians studying in the country, rising from 1,320 in 2019-2020 academic session to 21,305 by the 2020-2021 session. Given this data, it is crucial to highlight that between 2010 and 2020, foreign education expenses amounted to a substantial $28.65 billion, as per the CBN's publicly available balance of payments statistics. Similarly, medical treatment abroad has incurred around $11 billion in costs during the same period. Consequently, over the past decade, foreign exchange demand for education and healthcare has totaled nearly $40 billion. Notably, this amount surpasses the total current foreign exchange reserves of the CBN. Mitigating a significant portion of this demand could have resulted in a considerably stronger naira today. On the supply side of the exchange rate, to bolster the inflow of US dollars into a country, the economy must earn these dollars through exports, whether oil or non-oil, or by attracting foreign investments. A robust economic foundation is essential to produce goods and services that the global market is willing to pay for in US dollars. When the supply surpasses demand, the exchange rate appreciates, causing the price of the dollar to fall. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, the contrary has taken place. Regrettably, over the past 12 years, our oil exports constituted over 90% of our foreign exchange revenues and have declined from $93.89 billion in 2011 to $31.4 billion in 2020. From the aforementioned points, we can infer that the genuine issue impacting the exchange rate is the simultaneous decrease in the supply and increase in the demand for US dollars. It also seems that the task of stabilizing the exchange rate, while an official mandate of the CBN, would necessitate efforts beyond the bank itself and indeed to an attitudinal change of all our citizens. My concluding remarks, and I know I'm pressed for time, honorable members, my team and I are dedicated to refocusing the bank by giving primacy to price stability. We also aim to build confidence in the Nigerian economy through the maintenance of stability in consumer prices and the foreign exchange market. We are aware that the twin challenges of inflation and exchange rate depreciation on our economy are daunting. However, they are not insurmountable. Monetary policy actions are sometimes inhibited by transmission lags. Nonetheless, it is expected that the policy measures implemented by the bank will permeate the economy in the short to medium term.
Just 1 more minute, sir.
Inflation pressures may persist, albeit temporarily, but are expected to moderate significantly by the fourth quarter of 2024. Exchange rate pressures are also expected to reduce with a smooth functioning of foreign exchange market. We are committed to implementing policies that will ensure a stable macroeconomic environment and guarantee improved livelihoods for all Nigerians. Thank you for your attention, honorable members.
Thank you very much. I think the Deputy Whip was carried away with your fantastic presentation, that she allowed you some minutes, maybe on self-recognition. Well done. It would be great to have the Honorable Minister of Budget and National Economic Planning to address the House now. As briefly as possible will help us.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, the leadership, Right Honorable members, clerk and staff of the National Assembly, members of the media, good afternoon. You are Right Honorable. I'm going to speak on 3 perspectives which relates to the mandate of the ministry. The national planning mandate, the budget function, and the bilateral function, particularly because they relate to the concerns of the National Assembly, which has been expressed in the remarks of the Right Honorable Speaker. Just for emphasis, I will like to quote from the mandate of the ministry that among our functions, we are to determine how best the fundamental objectives and directive principle of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, can achieve the major objectives of optimal development and suggest amendments that may be required from time to time. Most people do not realize that the discharge of the fundamental objectives reside in the national planning function. Not surprisingly, Mr. President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaigned on a renewed hope agenda, which appreciates the need for a plan-based budget or plan-based national program of development that, as we speak, we have an Agenda 2050, we have National Development Plan, we have, of course, the medium-term expenditure framework which you passed, and the renewed hope agenda, as well as a lot of work done by policy advisory committees that were set up when this government came into office. So all this fed into the 2 budgets that were presented to the National Assembly by President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The 2.17 trillion supplementary appropriation with emphasis in security, infrastructure, and commitment to deliver on promises made, particularly to labor and generality of Nigerians, as well as the 2024 budget, which, with your blessing, was passed on the last day of 2023 in the sum of 28.77 trillion and signed on the 1st of January 2024, as well as now uploaded in the GPMIS platform ready for implementation. And prior to that, there was a negotiation with the National Assembly where Mr. President sought and the National Assembly agreed to amend a supplementary appropriation, which is the first he inherited, in the sum of $819 billion to provide $500 billion to fund palliatives to support the adjustment that were occasioned by some of the bold and courageous measures that were taken to restore macroeconomic stability and functioning of the economy. And the two budgets, in particular the 2024 budget, has significantly delivered on deficit reduction so as to assure the private sector that we will restore fiscal discipline and ensure that they are not crowded out, but that public expenditure becomes catalytic and enabling of private sector investment. Equally, with your support, we delivered a budget that has the highest capital expenditure in the last 2 decades. And I think you all ought to be commended, as well as Mr. President. 39% capital expenditure. Because most people, when computing capital expenditure, they only compute the MDA capital of 9.19, whereas in the statutory transfers to NJC, to Niger Delta Development Commission, to Northeast Development Commission, the statutory transfers compose both a capital and a current component. So when we add to that, we'll see that the capital is much higher. This, of course, is commendable, is consistent with Mr. President's commitment to Nigerians that we are not going to take the easy way out. And more than that, the budget provided more money, both on nominal and in real terms, than has ever been provided in the priority sectors: defense and security, infrastructure, agriculture, as well as innovative funds that have been created, that have been provided for, that are enablers of economic activity. A 100 billion naira National Agricultural Fund, a consumer credit fund that we believe will be catalytic in promoting domestic manufacturing, a mortgage fund that we believe will support expansion of construction activity, and given the fact that our construction sector must really rely on locally sourced materials, one can imagine that that will generate significant economic activity in a short time. Uploaded on the GPMIS platform, the implementation, one of the implementing circulars, as we have heard earlier from the chairman of FRIS, has gone out. The second one will go out. And this is where maybe I will use this opportunity to appeal. The National Assembly particularly the respected House of Reps, is rightfully worried about complaints about cost of living. And one of the quickest wins, and this challenge does not come unanticipated. We reckon with global challenges that are impacting us domestically, and we reckon with the transitional nature of some of the measures that we have taken. And we know that they will have some impacts. But there are compensatory mechanisms. One of it is to support domestic production, particularly one that we are most familiar with, 36 states of Nigeria plus FCT. Agricultural production is a major component, and as well as other activities for which infrastructure, for which funding has been generously provided in the budget. But this, in implementing this, we need more cooperation, particularly from the National Assembly members. The federal government have nominated a number of projects which you graciously approved. Literally, our budget was slightly, just with slight modification and understandable, Mr. President, being the Democrat that he is, appreciate the National Assembly have the right. Okay. But the National Assembly have nominated projects in the budget, rightfully so, consistent with your representation and powers, and also the ability to contribute to appropriation. But that's where now, in implementing that, we want to prioritize those projects, both on the federal and the National Assembly side, that will stimulate economic activity as quickly as possible. And Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to make that appeal. And as to the current measures, I'm sure we'll hear from the coordinating minister, but today we are having here this hearing in this chamber. What is happening in our country is akin to somebody visiting a reconstruction site. It might be inconvenience. Those living in it might be inconvenienced, especially when such reconstruction site involves people living in them. It's an improvement site where you have to discomfort those who are living therein as well as those who are coming to help. But eventually, we are very clear that we are on the right track, and the challenges of the moment are being dealt with. Daily, we are attending meetings under the leadership of the coordinating minister of the economy to interrogate what we are doing and to bring more. And we are getting support from international partners. The ministry, even yesterday, we had the German Minister for Economy. We have had EU delegations, all acknowledging the commendable steps that Nigeria had taken under the able leadership of President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and assuring us of support. And even in the last 7 months, with private sector investment, we have seen announcement of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Railway. We have seen investment in LNG space. We are interacting with holders of long-term capital almost on a daily basis. The President, all of us in the team, and as well as many members of the cabinet. We are assured that we will overcome the challenge of the moment, and we be on our path to sustain economic growth that includes everyone, as promised by Mr. President. Thank you.
Beautifully presented, I must say. And I like your poetic applications used in your presentation. The poetic application, like Nigeria is a construction site. That means a lot. That the future will be brighter, but for now, there will be dust. There will be some harsh sound in our ears. We might be inconvenienced, but there is hope that a beautiful building is coming up. It might be at the foundation level where people are not seeing it, but there is hope that this construction site will soon become habitable. And I'm happy hearing about investment in LNG. I'm happy hearing about the railway, especially the one you mentioned, Calabar area and all. It's very important for you to go through the whole country. I'm highly interested in that one. I'm also interested in that local content that you just mentioned. Going local to find out what we can use to build our economy up. And that we are right in complaining about cost of living. The motion was not moved here before you came in. We are right. That is what you acknowledge. And you also commended us for partnering with the executive to move the budget within the constitutional budget calendar. And also we insisted in supporting the executive with the 39% capital expenditure, which has never happened before. So there is, I believe there is hope. Your message has given us a lot of hope. Thank you very much. Now let us have the Minister of Finance himself and the coordinating minister. These financial, economic related issues. Let's have him address us. Thank you.
Thank you. His Excellency, the Speaker, House of Representatives, the leadership of the House of Representatives, honorable members, good afternoon. Let me start by, on behalf of my colleagues here and indeed the rest of the economic management team, which I have the privilege to lead, thank you all for this opportunity at this all-important dialogue. I also will, at this time, the very first time we're interacting after the passage of the 2024 budget, thank you on behalf of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for your support in swiftly passing his budget and your collaboration and cooperation generally. We have heard from my colleagues, and naturally, they have virtually covered the field. Where we are as a nation economically is a much, much better place than we were on the 29th of May, 2023. We have heard from the governor of Central Bank. He talked about the unsustainability. He talked about the importance of sustainability before the implementation of the 8-point agenda of the president began. We were in an unsustainable place in terms of the fiscal situation of Nigeria. We were on the road to economic disaster. We had expenditure which was wasteful and unsustainable by way of the subsidy, not just on fuel, but the subsidy on foreign exchange, which confused the incentive framework, and people were chasing cheap dollars in order to make instant profits. Of course, in turning back from that road, as we have heard, there will be dust. However, bold measures have been taken, and there have been positive results. If we look at the finances of the government today, there has been benefit to the federation accounts. There has been reduction in the consumption of petrol. by about 20 million liters because there was smuggling, apart from even wasteful use of that all-important resource. And likewise, there have been other benefits which have accrued as a result of the changes that have been made. However, there has been cost. Inflation has increased. The cost of living has spiked. And right from the onset, Mr. President committed to making sure that the poorest and the most vulnerable were not left behind. And that's why, as we heard earlier from the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the palliatives, the interventions have been rolled out. But let us examine exactly where we are today after a series of economic reforms and intervention measures. And I will come back to the all-important issue of helping Nigerians with the cost of living. But first of all, oil production. Mr. President made a commitment to confront, to engage, and indeed to use state power to subdue the vested interests that had resulted in oil production and sales going down to as little as 1.25 million barrels per day. Where are we now as a result of those interventions in terms of security and collaboration and cooperation across all the stakeholders in that industry? We are at 1.65 barrels per day and rising. And that is the quickest way to give relief. The governor of Central Bank just said now that in 2011, we were virtually at $100 billion a year from oil sales. So we can see the adjustment that has had to be made. Now we are on the way back up. 1.65 million barrels per day and rising. And in addition, the Minister for Budget had said that the bold measures that were taken are resonating around the world. We go to the IMF meetings, UNGA meetings, G20 meetings, and there is nothing but pride and admiration and deep respect for the courage that has been shown economically in Nigeria. And what has also resounded is that we have to look inwards. We have to focus on domestic resource mobilization. The chairman, FIRS, has said what they are doing in terms of domestic resource mobilization. I can tell you that with the application of technology and this august body and the Senate, if you look at the Hansard of December 30, the Senate mandated that we go out and bring government revenue that was lying in MDAs and government-owned enterprises, but rightly belonged in the Consolidated Revenue Fund, to bring it in. And that has been done. And the results are a rise in revenue to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Similarly, in agriculture, if we need to stabilize the economy, two things need to happen. Inflation needs to be tackled. The governor of Central Bank has said what is being done. He has announced his targets for inflation, and the fact that inflation targeting will be a key element of the strategy, which is right because they're in charge of the targets of monetary policy. But in addition to that, when you look at inflation, a large element is food inflation. In fact, food inflation accounts for 33% of the consumer price index. So when you attack food production, raise food production, you bring down the price of food, you bring down inflation, you get a chance to bring down interest rates, and there lies the road to investment. I was recently in Nasarawa. I met all the stakeholders in the agricultural chain, and they were able to commit with confidence to a very good dry season harvest And we know all the steps that have been taken to intervene in that sector, from fertilizer, from grain supply, to funding for rice, maize, wheat, and cassava to bring under production 400,000 hectares. So these are the steps that are being taken to get inflation down, to stabilize the economy, and prepare for investment. And just, I will also add that in terms of production, industry requires energy. I chair a power sector steering committee to deal with the issues in that sector. And on the issue of interventions, I must return to it. We are talking about increases in revenue available to all tiers of government through the federation account. And we are also talking about the ability of the federal government to raise resources. The commitment is that as things improve, even though there will be dust as we turn Nigeria into a building site through massive intervention in the housing sector, there will be, at every opportunity possible, further intervention on behalf of the poor, on behalf of the vulnerable, to assist with the cost of living rise, which is an inevitable result of having waited so long before we, as we heard earlier, turn the corner. And I think I will just end by saying that let us be confident, let us be calm, let us be assured that Nigeria has turned the corner in terms of its economic management, and the way forward is up. And at the same time, the poor and the vulnerable will be assisted at every turn. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just was very time conscious. We appreciate the fact that there is an improvement in most sectors that you highlighted, an increase in oil production due to the intervention approved by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which some of you are championing. The fact that you're also looking at local production and also agric, trying to incentivize that sector, goes to show that there is hope. We are also optimistic that your decision to ensure that the power sector is not left behind will also help manufacturers who are interested in building our economy coming. It will raise investors' confidence. It's not for me to approve what you have said, it's for the House to analyze. They are listening. These ones are cerebral legislators, they are listening, and their constituents are listening. And I'm sure they are going to have their questions come forward. Honorable colleagues, they have taken 40 minutes to make their presentation. We are going to take 30 minutes to ask our questions. And this is how it's going to go. Our questions, we're going to recognize those who have submitted questions that we have here with us and the numbers. These questions are going to be done in segments, which means when we are asking for FIRS, we'll take all the questions on FIRS. We are done, he takes his notes. We'll take the next question on CBN. He takes his notes. Budget and planning, he takes his notes. And then the finance minister will take his note. And then it is important to note that when you stand to ask your question, go straight to the point. Not more than 2 minutes. Because we are dividing these 30 minutes to generate about 30 questions or more than that for each of them. So don't go into explaining your question I'm sure you have written your question down. We are monitoring the question here. If it is outside what you have written down, we will give another person a chance. My name is Benjamin Okezekalo. I'm from Bende Federal Constituency. My question is to the FIRS head, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? You sit down. So you stand up, you say, I'm addressing the CBN. My question is 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Let me also remind us that in segmenting this engagement, when we handle FIRS, he will stand up and take the question. We will not ask all the questions at once. We will do